Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yo Nityamachyudapadam Bhujegmarukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinayamene Asmad Guroho Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prabadhye Yasya Smaranamatreena Dvaitavasana Pramuchyate Bodhatmakaya Namastasmai Bhagavate Shri Ramana Maharshaya Hridākāshe sadābhantam shantamanandarupinam Jnanabhanamaham vande sadgurum Shri Satyasayinam amantaryaminam Satchidanandaswarupam hridyastiti sadābhati priyam Nikila nigamarthasaram yasya suramuni janavandya padabjadvandvam Bhakta chittabhiramam yatta prasarati parimala prema pravaham Tameva mama sarvam viharati prashanti nilaye sakshat brahma tattva Janmadhyasya yatonvayadi taratascha abhigyasvarat Tene brahma hridayadi kavaye muhyanti yat surayaha tejo vari mridam yata vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi Dharma projyata kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmoolanam Śrīmad Bhāgavate Mahamuni kim va parer Ishvaraha sadyo hridyavaruddhyate atra kritibhihi susrushabhistakshanath Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam shukamukadamirtadrava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhavi bhavuka Yam pravrajandamanupetamapeeta krityam dvaipayano virahakatarajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo bhinetustam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi Yasvanubhavam akila shrutisaram ekamadhyatma deepam atititirshatam tamondham samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam tam vyasasūnumupayami gurum muninam Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Kasmayena Vibhasito Yamatulo Jnana Pradipah Pura Tadrupena Cha Naradaya Munaye Krishnaya Tadrupena Yogindraya Tadatmanata Bhagavadrataya Karunyataha Tatshuddham Vimalam Vishokam Amritam Satyam Param Dhimahi Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamanaha Tam Namami Harim Param Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranata Kleshanashaya Shri Govindaya Namo Namaha Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Shri Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Shri Govindaya Namo Namaha Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Avan Yaschasmi Tattvataha Bhagavan says in the Gita, through bhakti you attain me, you acquire knowledge of me. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Through bhakti you know me. And once you know him through that bhakti, then you become a Brahma Bhuta. The knower of the Brahman is the Brahman in itself. But Bhagavan in the Gita continues to say, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samaha sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. The one who has known me attains supreme devotion towards me. Two separate shlokas in two separate places, but if you put them together, it reads very beautifully. Through bhakti you know me, and when you know me, you will have bhakti. Through bhakti you know me, but when you know me, you attain param bhakti, supreme bhakti, Bhagavan says. There is bhakti and there is supreme bhakti. To know him, we need bhakti, but after we know him, after we know the truth, our life from that point onwards is a saga of divine romance. Up until then, the bhakti that we have is not complete because the I is still there in it. The bhakta is still there. And as long as the bhakta is also there, the ego is also there, therefore that bhakti can never reach its final state of fulfillment. It remains a little less. And once that knowledge, jnana, is acquired, jnana is attained. Jnana means the complete annihilation, destruction of the ahankara, of the ego. Because that which is obstructing the clear view of the truth is this ahankara. If the ahankara goes away, naturally the truth shines. The shining of the truth is jnana. But for jnana to happen, ahankara should go. All sadhanas are done only so that this ahankara may be destroyed. All spiritual practices are aimed only at the destruction of the ego. That is why you can adopt any spiritual practice. It is not the particular actions that matter, it is getting rid of ahankara that matters. Whatever gets rid of your ahankara for you is your spiritual practice. On the other hand, if what you are doing is increasing your ahankara, then that should be abandoned by you. I remember a person that I met in Thiruvannamalai. He lives in Thiruvannamalai and comes to the ashram every day. And he said, very interesting observation. He said there was a time when he wore white and white to the ashram. White veshti, white shirt. White dhoti, white shirt. He used to come in that. With a vibhuti mark, white shirt. And he said some reason everybody started looking at him and doing namaskaram to him because that spectacle presented. And he thought, oh, this is not good for me. Then unnecessarily I will get ahankara. So from then on he started wearing colored t-shirts and veshtis. Then everybody ignored me initially. I wore a t-shirt I used to wear and on veshti. Everybody ignored me. I was very impressed. When he said it, I was very impressed. Because two things. One, to even notice it, to even recognize this. Otherwise, you will simply nod your head and smile at everybody giving respect to you. Who doesn't like to be respected? If everybody, strangers also look and do namaskaram to you, you will also nod your head like a big sage. He recognized that that is what he was doing. He recognized that this is not going to help him in his progress. He has not come here to gain the respect of the people in Ramanashramam. Strangers whom you do not even know or meet again. What does it matter whether they look at you or not? What is more important is for us to lose our ahankara. If instead, if this white and white is going to increase ahankara in me, I will wear colored t-shirt. Swami insisted on everybody wearing whites because in that whole gathering, when everybody wore white, nobody could stand outside from the other. You were reduced to a common denominator. You were just another. There was nothing special about you. Nothing that set you apart, that was also a way. But if his white and white was the distinguishing feature, he gave it up. Likewise, our lifestyle, our sadhana, if it is going to keep you, give rise to ego. There was a woman who used to come to Swami from Delhi in the olden days. She used to come from Delhi. And she used to sing very well. And there was one particular Hindi song she used to sing. She was actually a South Indian lady but settled down, married and settled down in New Delhi, in the north. She used to sing a Hindi song which Swami used to love. because the meaning was very nice in that song. So every time she came, Swami would say, sing that song, sing that song. And the bhajans in those days were not as bhajans are now in Prashanti. People would just keep singing long songs, and Swami himself has composed a lot of number of such songs, they will keep singing it. And Swami was very particular, certain songs will have to be repeated again and again and again and again. Every bhajan the same song will come. The singers will know newer songs, but Swami will say, sing the old song. Like this, whenever this lady came, Swami would say, sing this song, sing this song. And she would sing it. She was singing very well. Then, when it was time for her to return, Swami said to her, you must be in satsangam. Make sure that you attend satsang all the time. Otherwise, you go away and you get into samsara, no point. Make sure wherever you are, attend satsang. In those days, centers, samitis were not there. Sai organization was not established. This was a long time ago I'm talking about. So where would she go for bhajans? Where would she go for satsang? But she found out that the Ramakrishna mission was active. So she sent word to Swami through somebody that please ask Swami, Ramakrishna mission, can I attend? Swami sent word, that is very good, let her attend the sessions there. So she went. And she sang. And she sang so well that everybody said, oh, you must sing in our sessions. And as she started singing, she asked Swami's permission, can I sing? Yes, by all means sing. So she sang. After some time, what happened? The people who attended that, whenever they had any private puja in their house or function in their house, they will always invite this lady, you must come and sing, you sing so well. So she would start going everywhere and singing. Now you must understand that Swami had asked her to go, Swami had asked her to sing, that is why she was singing. But then her sister had come to Parthi to have Swami's darshan. Swami called the sister for an interview and said, what is your sister aiming to do? Does she want to become very popular in Delhi? Does she want to go everywhere and sing? Tell her if she values her spirituality, she better not do this. But then sister came and sent a message to her other sister and said, this is what Swami said about you. What has happened, Abdina? Although that singing was for her a sadhana, very soon it became a trap for her, or had the potential to become a trap. People started to praise her, she was getting more and more popular, she was being invited everywhere. So what started out as sadhana became a problem. Swami said, sit in your prayer room and sing to me, I will listen enough. In a way, that is why we need a guru. Otherwise, we will not even know where we are tripping and falling unless we have such an extraordinary blessing to have sharp intellect. Discrimination should be there, then we will be able to spot these pitfalls. Otherwise, very easy to fall. We saw Jadabharata falling. Bharata, the king, fell for a deer, and we saw the rest of the story. Falling is very easy. Therefore, very carefully one has to tread on this path. We were looking at the story of Vritrasura. Vritrasura's past life, where he was Chitraketu, the king, who wanted a son. He was actually ripe and ready for spiritual instruction, but he had one drawback, one flaw, his obsession to have a son. And when Angirasa Rishi came there in order to give him some upadesha, but saw his obsession, he decided to use that very same obsession to give rise to vairagya in him. He gave him a blessing, you will have a son who will bring joy and sorrow to you. Boy was born. One of his principal wives, Kritadyuti, gave birth to the son, but because of the jealousy that the other queens had, they killed this boy. Great sorrow. Now Angiras and Narada went there, ready to give that instruction because they know he is ready now. He asked them to resurrect his son. Yes, he said yesterday was Easter Sunday, day of resurrection. Can you not bring me my son back? So we saw yesterday the resurrection of that boy also happened. But the boy came and said, Kame janani kome mataha enorme. Kame janaka kome mataha. Who is my mother? Who is my father? Yaar kome janaka, kame janani. Who is my mother? Who is my father? How many mothers have I not had? How many fathers have I not had? Leah. We've had so many births, we've had so many children. In fact, I often, as I say, no, every day of the year is Devasam for you. Daily somebody is doing Devasam for you. Yeah, your descendants are doing Devasam. ஏதோ தர்ப்பணம் தவசம் உனக்கு தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பான். ஏன்னா போன ஜென்மம் உன் பிள்ளை உனக்கு நீ பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பான். இன்னைக்கு தான் அப்பா போனான்னு நீ பண்ணிட்டு, அதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஜென்மத்தை இன்னைக்கு தான் அப்பா போனான்னு பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பான். அப்போ எத்தனை ஜென்மம் தினம் தவச சாப்பாடு தான் சாப்பிட்டுருக்கோம். நம்ம பிண்டம் தான் நம்ம கொடுத்துட்டுருக்கோம். We have died so many times, we have given birth to so many children, they are all doing their annual death rites for us every day. Who is the father? Who is the son? What nonsense are you talking about? All of these are only applicable as long as the body exists. Once the body is gone, forget about it. That spirit, the jiva said that. It became like a lightning bolt to this king. He fell at the feet of these rishis. You have come to emancipate me. Like a fool, I asked for useless things. Anal, this is the great beauty. Even if you must ask foolish things, go and ask it of Mahatmas, because they will turn that also into a spiritual instruction. They will make it to a blessing to you. Their interest is only in giving the truth to you. If you go with the right bhava, and even if you ask for something less than the truth, it still is not too bad, because they will use that also as an opportunity to teach you. So these Mahatmas brought a lesson to him, and then he said, no, enough of this samsara for me, I want to be liberated. Appa Narada said, come, I will teach you a mantra. I will give you a mantra. You practice this mantra, you chant this mantra, this particular verse, and you will attain the darshan of the Lord. He will guide you further. So he gave the mantra, Om Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Niruddhaya Namas Sankarshanaya Cha Namo Vijnana Matraya Paramanandamurthaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Nivritta Advaita Drishtaye Nivritta Advaita Drishtaye Atmanandanubhutyaiva Nyasta Shaktyamu Shaktyurmaye Namaha Rishikeshaya Mahate Namaste Vishwamurtaye. Narada gives instructions differently to different people. That is the nature of the Guru. The true Guru, Sadguru nu solrame, they don't have one instruction for everybody. It cannot work like that. The mass instructions cannot work. Each disciple is different. Appo ellarkum ore instruction, how will it work? Narada gives Atma Upadesha to Prahlada in the womb. He gives a mantra with a dhyana to Dhruva. He gives something else to Chitraketu, the king here. Each one is different. Adhe madiri prachetasukku vera onnu kuduparanga. Ellarkum onnu. He gives a different instruction to everybody. Different mantra, different method altogether. Why? They are different. Nowadays it has become common to have one method for everybody. One size will not fit all. Our vasanas are different, our samskaras are different, where we come from, our levels are different, our understanding is different. So the teaching will have to be appropriately tailored to each person. Maasla kudukaradallam upadesham kadayadu. See what I am doing now, I am doing pravachanam. I am not doing upadesham. I am giving a discourse, I am not giving instruction. There is a difference between giving a discourse and giving instruction. Discourse is for all, it is common, it is general. Upadesha is tailored, very specific. That is why sometimes, if you start taking everything that is being told in the discourse as meaning for me, you will get confused, because contradictory things will be told here. Very specifically, if you are called and told certain thing, that is all you have got to follow. That is for you, that has been tailored for you. And for that, you must have the capacity to receive Upadesha from the Guru. That is a different story. Everybody can come and get discourses, but Upadesha, you have to be qualified. You have to have a qualification to receive tailored instruction from the Guru. Adakku you have to become a disciple first. You have to become a disciple before you can receive Upadesha. What is a disciple? Who is a disciple? The qualities of a disciple should be there in you. What is the quality? You should be able to give everything to the Guru. Yourself you should be able to offer. Appa he will give himself to you in the form of Upadesha. Upadesham na yanna. What is the Guru's Upadesha? Upadesha is the Guru himself. Upadeshamna, yedo get up in the morning, sit and meditate from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock is not Upadesha. That is not the Upadesha we are talking about here. And the Upadesham karde vera. That Upadesha is the joining together of the heart of the Guru and the disciple together. It is two hearts becoming one. Adan Upadesha. Upadesham. Desha அப்படின்னா place. Upana close. Close place. A closed place. A secret place. It is not an open place. It is a closed space. Only the Guru and the disciple are there in that closed space. Rahasyamana oru vishayam adu. That is why Upadeshas are supposed to be rahasyam. Secret nu cholluva. Whenever, even mantropadesha, when it is given, you will find that the Guru will whisper it into the ear of the disciple. These things we all see. It is symbolic. It is not that it has to be whispered. What does it mean? It's a very confidential, very secretive thing. It cannot be done openly. The Guru and the disciple alone are in secret. They go into a separate room, lock the door and do in the room. Heart is the room. Heart is the room. The Guru enters into the Sishya's heart. The Sishya enters into the Guru's heart. Two hearts become one. Adhan the Rahasyam. In the sacred space of that secret space, there is a sharing happening. There is a communion happening, a union happening. There is something happening behind those closed doors. Very intimate it is. A very intimate act is happening behind those closed doors between the Guru and the disciple. What is it? They are becoming one. The Guru is saying to the disciple, not through words, Sholladu Sholli. Sholladu Sholliya, Cheppadu Sheppiya, Ormozhiyin Padi nu sonna. Without speaking it, he is instilling, he is showing the disciple, he is the disciple and the disciple is the Guru. Never have we been different. Between you and me, there is not an iota of difference in a cholra. Bhagavatam Puranjanopakhyanathala varum. There is not a trace of difference between you and me. We are the same. Tvamaivaham. You are me, I am you. This is the Upadesha that is given in secret. Not secretly in a room separately, in the heart it is given. Adhikka we have got to become qualified. And the Guru gives different, that Upadesha is given differently to everybody. Depending upon where they are, where they come from, the Upadesha is given differently to everybody. To everybody the same thing, I am you, is not given. Vidha cholra there. But the same truth is told though. The same state is given though, but it is done differently for each person. So Narada gives a different instruction to Chitraketu. He practices it for only 7 days. For 7 days only he practices this teaching. In the meditation, Vidhyayava, or 7 days he does the upasana of it. 7th day he sees Bhagavan. Yena mind had reached such a state amapanak. Having reached such a pure, refined state, he sees Bhagavan. Bhagavan in the form of Sankarshana appears in front of him. He praises Bhagavan variously. Ellam kettathukapram Bhagavan, in receiving his prayers and praise, Bhagavan says, I am very happy. Children, yen Naradangirebhyam te vyakritam menu shasanam samsiddhosi taya rajan vidyaya darshanachame. O king, by having faithfully followed the instruction of Narada and Angiras, you have become perfect. Siddhosi. You have attained perfection. Plus you have seen me. What more is left? Therefore, since you are perfect, you are perfectly ready to receive the highest instruction. You have become the perfect disciple. Now I will myself become the Guru and teach you the highest truth. Bhagavan gives a very beautiful Upadesha to Chitraketu. Aham vai sarva bhutani bhutatma bhutabhavanaha shabda brahma param brahma mamobhe shashvati tanu. Bhagavan tells Chitraketu, Raja, I alone am. I alone am. Whether spiritually speaking, worldly speaking, in the material world or in the level of the spirit, I alone am. Sarva bhutani bhutatma bhutabhavanaha. I alone am the cause of their origin. I alone am them. I alone am the witness inside them. I am the Atma inside them. I am the progenitor of all of them. I am them. Idan truth. In all forms, I alone am existing. Loke vitatamatmanam lokam cha atmani santatam ubhayam cha maya vyaptam mayi chaivo bhayam kritam. Know that the Atma is pervading this entire world as the sarvanubhuhu, as the all-experiencer. And know that the world is also spread out from him as an object of his experience. And know that both this world and the Atma are pervaded by me and established in me. Vyashti, Samashti, Parameshti ni channa. Vyashti, the individual Atma, each one of you. Samashti, this collection, this entire universe. Parameshti, that Paramatma, the Supreme Being. This entire world is in you. And you are in him. And he is you. That is all. A is equal to B is equal to C. A is equal to B, B is equal to C, A is equal to C. A is equal to B is equal to C. A na enna na in the you individual, B na in the universe, C na Bhagavan. Appearing as three. Ishvara, Jagat, Jiva, and it is appearing as three. Ana, it is not three, it is only one. It is all pervaded by the same vastu, same principle. Any difference, quantitative differences are there. Isha Jiva Yoho Veshadi Bhida Satsvarupato Vastu Kevalam. But Ramana Bhagavan says in Upadesha Sar. Between Ishvara and you, the difference is you are small, he is big. Or ant or elephant. There is an ant, there is an elephant. Both are ants only in the end of the day. The biggest animal, elephant. It ends with ant. The smallest creature, ant. That's ant. That's satyam. Ant is all pervasive. Ant is the Atma. Elephant liye Atma da irukku, ant liye Atma da irukku. How big is the Atma inside the ant versus how big is the Atma inside the elephant? Solla mudiyuma. Does Atma have a size? Kutti Atma, periya Atma. A tiny Atma, big Atma. So suppose the elephant is reborn as an ant, then does the elephant's Atma shrink to become the ant Atma? Or does the ant Atma expand to become elephant Atma? Illiye. Ore Atma dane irukku. In whatever body it is expressing or manifesting itself, it is permeating that body completely, fully. It can permeate a small ant's body, it can permeate this entire cosmos also in the same way. When it permeates the entire cosmos, we call it as Paramatma. When it is permeating this little body, we are calling it as a Jivatma. Now, what is the difference? There is a pot. There is space inside the pot. There is space outside the pot. The space inside the pot can be called as pot space. The space outside is called the vast space. And is there a difference between pot space and vast space? They are the same space. If the pot is broken, what happens to the distinction between the pot space and the vast space? The bodies are like pots. The Jiva Atma, so-called Jiva Atma, is the pot space. The so-called Paramatma is the vast space. Really, is there a difference between Jivatma and Paramatma except for the unreal existence of a temporary pot? Think about it. Is it fair to define or delineate or differentiate this Paramatma on the basis of a temporary pot? Temporary pot. It is not permanent. It is going to go away. How can you say it is a different? Suppose, you have your face like this. Suppose you put a big black mark here. You take an eyeliner or something and you make a big black mark here. And you come. Should we think you are a separate person to the other fellow? You with the black mark and you without the black mark, are you two different people? Liye, same person thane. Can we use that temporary black mark, which tomorrow if you wash it away, it is gone? இன்னைக்கு இப்போதைக்கு ஏதோ பைத்தியம் பிடிச்சது நீ போட்டு வந்துட்டேன், என்னமோ உன்னை பார்த்து எல்லாரும் திருஷ்டிப்பட போறான்னு நினைச்சுன்னு வந்துட்டேன் நீ. If you wash it away, it is going to go away. Can we make that little temporary feature as a cause for separating you into two people and say yesterday was somebody else, that person didn't come today separate person has come? சொல்ல முடியுமா? Like that, this body is like a temporary black mark for us. Or stain, the kalankam. The temporary black mark we are defining and saying that Atma, Paramatma is different, Jiva Atma is different, this, that and the other. Bhagavan சொல்றான், all that is not true. He gives two beautiful gifts to all of us through Chitraketu, Bhagavan inge. Enna solrana, one he gives us an example to understand this truth, and second he gives us an actual practice method. Oru theory and oru practical. What is the theory now? Yata shushuptaha purusho vishvam pashyati cha atmani atmana ekadeshastam manyate swapna uttitaha evam jagaranadini jivasthanani cha atmanaha maya matrani vijnaya tadrashtaram param smaret. In the rendu shlokathula theory and practice both are given. What is theory? He says, Yata sushuptaha purushaha vishvam pashyati cha atmani. A person is sleeping, and when he is sleeping, he has a dream. In the dream, he sees a whole world. Where is he seeing this world? In him only. He is seeing the world in him only. Atmanam ekadeshastam. He is present in one place. He is sleeping in one place. And although he is sleeping in only one place, he sees the entire universe in that one place. Where is he seeing it? He is seeing it in himself only. And when he wakes up from the dream, he realizes that he did not go anywhere. Everything was seen by him in him. Likewise, evam jagradani. This in the waking state, okay, it is exactly the same. Jivasthanani cha atmanaha. In his own self, he is seeing this entire so-called waking world. Where you see the dream world is exactly where you see the waking world also. You think dream world is seen inside you, waking world is seen outside you. Ana atmanaha, it is all seen in the Atma only. Atma is seeing, Atmani only it is seeing everything in itself now. Jivasthanani cha atmanaha. Maya matrani vijnaya. Know that all this which you are seeing is only Maya, is only false illusion. You know, whatever has happened in the dream, when you wake up, you know it is not true. Isn't it? You won $10 million in the lottery in the dream. In the dreams, what you won. In your dreams. You won a big lottery in your dream. And you were excited, you were happy, you are going to throw a big party. And then you wake up. When you wake up, what happens? You realize the whole thing was only an illusion. Yeah. Like that, when you wake up to the reality, you will find all of this is also an illusion. Until we are awake and aware of that reality, we are considering all of this to be real. And we are willing to throw a big party or have a big mourning, cry and carry on when things go wrong, and so on and so forth. And all false. When fair enough, it is not false right now. Right now, it seems absolutely real to you. And all there is one small difference between this waking dream and the sleeping dream. In the sleeping dream, there is no one to tell you that it is only a dream. In this waking dream, there is somebody to repeatedly tell you it is a dream, it is a dream, it is a dream, it is a dream, it is a dream. That's the difference. If the waking state and the dream state are the same, then we might as well sleep all the time and dream. Will we attain the Lord because of that? No, we will not attain the Lord. அது we will see later on. தசமஸ்கந்தத்தில் முச்சுக்குந்தான்னு ஒரு ராஜா. This king Muchukunda got a boon from the devas to sleep forever. Deep sleep. And he was very tired. He had sleep deprived he was. So he wanted to sleep. So he kept on sleeping. When he finally awoke, he saw Krishna. Bhagavan Krishna. He said, Swami, give me jnanam. Bhagavan looked at him and said, what have you done? You have only slept. Go and do some dhyanam. Do some sadhana. Abdini he sent him away. After that, we will see about jnanam. அங்கே வந்து ஏன் ஸ்லீப் அண்ட் வேக்கிங் ஆர் த சேம்னு சொன்னேன்னு சொல்லுவாகுமா? Why do we say that the dream and the waking are the same? அப்படின்னா just as that is false, this is also false. But you cannot realize the falseness of the sleeping dream while you are sleeping and dreaming, whereas you can realize the falseness of the waking dream while you are awake. அதான் ஒரு key difference between the two. How do you realize that this is only a dream? The theory was all this is only a dream. Just as in a dream you see the entire universe inside you even though you have not budged an inch from your bed, so also all of this is seen in the Atma only. But how do you know this? How do you realize this? இங்கே சொல்கிறார் அழகான ஒரு வாக்கியம் இது. மாயா மாத்ராணி விஜ்ஞாய. Know all of this to be Maya. So what should you do now? Tadrashtaram param smaret. Tadrashtaram. Drashtaram அப்படின்னா the seer, the one who is seeing everything. Know him to be the truth. Think of him alone. Remember him alone. Forget this. Remember him. What does this remind us of? When Sub-Registrar Narayana Iyer came and sat in front of Ramana Bhagavan and said, Bhagavane, is everything that I see a lie? Paakaradu athanayum poyya Bhagavane? In the hall poyya? In the taduppu poyya? Neenga sakshat Parameshwara Swarupama ukandundirukele neenga poyya? இதில் என்ன போய் சந்தேகம்? பார்க்கறது அத்தனையும் போய். எல்லாத்தையும் ஒருத்தன் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கானே அவன் ஒத்தந்தான் மெய். The devotee asks Bhagavan, is everything a lie? I am seeing this hall, I am seeing this couch, I am seeing you, who is the Lord himself on this couch. Is everything a lie? Bhagavan says, what is there to doubt in this? Where is room for doubt in this? Everything that is seen is of course a lie. The seer alone is real. Tadrashtaram param smaret. Tirumbi ahamdanai dinam ahakan kan theriyum endranai enarunachala. What is it that we should be doing? Instead of looking at this world, look at the one who is looking at this world. The world இருக்கு, it is called world லோகான்னு சொல்கிறோம். லோகம், இதுக்கு பேர் லோகம். ஏன் லோகம் அப்படின்னா because it is looked at, it is called லோகம். அவலோகயதி இதி லோகான்னு சம்ஸ்கிருதத்தில். The English word look comes from the Sanskrit word avalokanam, to see. This world, we do not simply call it world. அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரிலாம் சம்ஸ்கிருதத்தில் names are not given. The terms that are given have got meaning behind it. We call this world as lokam because it is looked at. Drishya vastu, it is the object of sight, of perception. It is merely a seen object. And all our time and all our energy and importance is given to the seen object which cannot exist without a seer to see it. இதில் ரெண்டில் who is more important, seer or seen அப்படின்னா naturally the seer is important. Without him the seen cannot exist. தமிழில் பார்த்தோமானால் மரியாதையோட சீயர்னு சொல்கிறோம், அதை வெறும் சீன்னு சொல்கிறோம். அதுலேயே தெரியறது விச் இஸ் மோர் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஏன்னா ராமர், ராமன் அப்படி சொல்கிறோம். இரு சப்தம் போட்டால் மரியாதை கொடுக்குறோம். அவர் பெரியவர், அவன் சின்னவன். அப்போ அது சீன், அது என்னில் முடிஞ்சதுன்னா அது சின்னது, ரில் முடிஞ்சால் பெரியதுன்னா. சியர் இஸ் கெட்டர் தென் சீன். திரஷ்டாரம் பரம் ஸ்மரேத்தன், அந்த திரஷ்டாரனை பரமா நினச்சிக்கோ. ஹோல்ட் ஆன் டு த சியர் as the supreme. The seen is not supreme, the seer alone is supreme. அப்போ where should our focus be? இதுதான் முக்கியம் இங்கே. இப்போ வந்து பகவான் என்ன பண்ணுறான்னா, this sweet Lord, what he says is, ரொம்ப சமத்து பாவம். நமக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே with reasonable purpose only, I cannot deny it, Advaita Vedanta seems hard for everybody. Bhakti somehow seems easy for everybody. There is some kind of a truth in it. A relative truth is there, because it is not easy for everybody to understand that you are the Brahman. You are the Brahman nu sonna ella thaliye soriyirudhu. Either they fall asleep when they are told you are the Brahman, you are the Brahman, they fall asleep. Onnu puriya maatengirudhu adhu. Or they are confused, they look at you like ಏನು பார்க்குறது. You can see they are totally lost. பக்தி அப்படின்னா என்னமோ ஒரு சந்தோஷம் வருது எல்லாருக்கும். அதனால பகவான் ஆல்சோ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்ஸ் இட், அக்னாலஜஸ் இட். என்ன சொல்றான் தெரியுமா? வாட் இஸ் பகவான் சேன்னா? உபயம் ஸ்மரத் ஏன பிரசுப்த புருஷா ஸ்வாபம் வேதாத்மனஸ்ததா சுகம் ச நிர்குணம் பிரம்ம தம் ஆத்மானம் அவேஹி மாம்னுட்டான். என்ன ஸ்வீட்னஸ் பாருங்க. பகவான்ஸ் கம்பேஷன். பகவான் சேஸ், you know that Atma that I spoke about? You know that Atman? Yeah, but I really didn't understand that. That's okay. But you know the Brahman that I spoke about? That even more I did not understand that. Don't worry. That Brahman, that Atma, know that to be me. That is me. Now I can understand. You're standing in front of me. You're giving love to me. I can love you back. Idu poruma anna. Idu porunda. This is enough. For now, this is enough. You love me. You think of me. You remember me. Yenna, I know A is equal to B, B is equal to C, therefore A is equal to C. The only way maths can help us. Illana maths is useless. Though ஒரு வழி ஏதோ transitive property ஏதோ சொல்லி கொடுத்தான் அந்த காலத்தில், யூஸ் ஆகுது லாஜிக்கில் நமக்கு. இது மேத்ஸ் கிடையாது, இது லாஜிக் ஆக்சுவலாக. இட் இஸ் நாட் மேத்தமெட்டிக்ஸ். திஸ் இஸ் பியூர் லாஜிக். A is equal to B, B is equal to C, therefore A is equal to C ன்னு சொன்னான் இல்லையா? ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் went to his teacher and said, sir, I love your daughter. அப்படின்னா teacher became very angry. You rascal. அப்படின்னா, no sir, you only taught me. I love you, you love your daughter, therefore I love your daughter. Bhagavan, what we see is Bhagavan. Bhagavan na Ishwaran, or personal God a paakarom illaya. And the God is the Atma, and the God is the Brahman. So if we love that God, we are loving the Atma, we are loving the Brahman. If we are remembering that God, we are remembering the Atma, we are remembering the Brahman. Transitive property. Nera directa alla, indirecta we are remembering. Bhagavan says doesn't matter. Directly or indirectly, somehow remember me. Direct path அப்படின்னா என்னன்னா, நேரடியா straight away I go into myself and look at the Atma and say this Atma is that Paramatma. முடிஞ்சு போச்சு, finished. But that is not possible for everybody. Most people don't even seem to understand what it is. Most people are not even able to, what is this I that you are talking about? No, I ன்னு சொல்றியே, I don't understand that I. What is this I? அப்படின்னா, if you cannot see the I, you add an SA to it in the front. Plain I is difficult for you. You add SA to it in the front and make it Sai. Then Sai, you remember that Sai. It will be easy for you. Then you might say, but am I not already doing that? What is the new difference in this? Here is where it comes. Remember the point. Point is to ultimately lose your I. His I alone should remain. Your I should not remain. So how should you love Sai? Now you should love him in such a way that you do not remain. Narada says, Kenapi upayena. Eppudiyo pannu. Use any method that works for you. Somehow or the other, you place your mind on Krishna. You place your mind upon the Lord in such a way that you cease to exist. Adi, if you want to do Atma Vichara and get it done, be my guest. If you want to do Bhakti, be my guest. If you want to stand on your head and do it, be my guest. If you want to jump up and down, do it. Whatever floats your boat. What needs to happen is that you should sink. Your boat may float, you should sink. Your eye should sink. And easy our method is being given here by Sankarsana, Bhagavan in the form of Sankarsana to Chitraketu. Know the truth first, know the tattvam first, know the philosophy first. Vritti jnanam is important for us. We have to understand it first. இது மாத்திரம் இல்லை, புத்தியால் புரிஞ்சுக்கிறது தான் புரிஞ்சுக்கிறது இல்லை, ஆனால் புத்தியால் புரிஞ்சுண்டாத்தான் மேலே போக முடியும்னு பகவான் himself admits. Intellectually first we have to understand this. What is the intellectually that which we have to understand? அப்படின்னா இது ஒரு dream. It is not real. Even if it is real, if you are the party that says no, it is real, even if it is real, more real than that is the seer. Actually, it is not real at all. Seer alone is real. But you may say, no, I cannot accept it. It seems so real now. Okay, fine. Even if you want it to be real, more real than this is the seer. Adhanalda paramnu solran. Bhagavan says that drashtaram param smare. Think of him as the supreme. He is more important, greater than all that which you see. Adhanala avana puduchuko. You hold on to the seer. Who is the seer? You are the seer. That I cannot understand. Then hold me as a seer and hold on to me. Bhagavan is willing to substitute himself in your place and says, okay, if you cannot remember yourself, remember me. Some people say it is easier to remember myself than to remember Bhagavan. Appa you follow that. Agamatatala God is I. The Atma is Bhagavan. And that is also called Brahma. Yad brahmeti paramatmeti Bhagavan iti shabdyate. Appadina Bhagavatam says. It is called Bhagavan. It is called Brahman. It is called Atma. It is the self. It is God. It is the universal Brahman. So it doesn't matter how you approach it, where you approach it from. You are approaching the same place. Leah, when we came to this place, you could either drive from this way or drive from this way. Doesn't matter. It depends on where you are coming from. If you are coming from this way, you will drive from here and turn right into it. Otherwise, you will turn left into it. Ahamadatala, you are coming to the same place. Like that, it doesn't matter what method you adopt. Ultimately, you have to come to this place where you lose your sense of I, the sense of individuality is God. Dissolve it in bhakti or burn it in the fire of jnana. Swami adan solluvar. You dissolve it in the waters of bhakti or you burn it in the fire of jnana. Ultimately, this little ego I should not remain. Only Bhagavan or that Atma or that Brahman should remain. This is the knowledge that is given here beautifully to Chitraketu. Yadetat vismritam pumso madbhavam bhinnamatmanaha tatas samsara yetasya dehad deho mriter mritihi. If this seer is forgotten, if this Bhagavan who is present inside as the seer, if this Atma that is present inside as the seer is forgotten, if instead your vision, your Shraddha, your attention goes to this world, then Madbhavam Bhinnamatmanaha. You think you become separate from me. And once you have become separate from me, what happens to you now? Tata samsara hayetasya. You get into samsaram. And then dehad dehaha mritor mrite mritihi. From body to body, from death to death, you will be moving. From body to body, death to death. Mrityum cha mrityamapnoti. Yama says in Upanishad, Kathopanishadala Yama says, from death to death they march. Usually we say birth to birth. Ana Yama is a god of death. From death to death. From one death, you are marching towards another. You just now died in the previous birth. Now you are already marching towards your next death. Dehat deha. From one body to another body, from one death to another death. இப்படியே we are getting into the cycle because we have forgotten this truth. அதனால ஒன்றும் பண்ணாண்டா, இந்த ட்ரூத்தை ஞாபகம் வச்சுண்டா போறோம். Observe the Atma is the witness of all the three states. Sthanatraya vilakshanam அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, the three states of waking, dream and deep sleep க்கு ஆதாரமா this Atma alone is existing. Hold your attention on that Atma. Either, as again and again I'm repeating it so that it becomes clear for everybody, either in the form of the Atma or in the form of Bhagavan, the Antaryami in your heart, somehow or the other hold on only to this, not to this. This is all the sadhana that needs to be done. For you to let go of all of this, you must have either so much vairagyam in this or so much bhakti in that. Either you must hate this to let go of it, feel absolutely disgusted, alam nu sollanum, porum appa, yo enough. Atradu nu sonna, I cannot bear it anymore, I cannot tolerate this world anymore, abdini you should leave this world. Or you must be so much in love with him that you should hold on to him. If what we are doing is holding on with one hand with this, one hand with tug of war madri ayindu. We want to hold on to God also because we know He is nice, He is sweet, by somehow we have come to Him, so Swami, but I can't let go of this also. This is our plight. Either you develop enough disgust to this world to let go of it, that is a negative margam if you ask me, negative way, you feel enough, you let go. Or I want that more, no let go. Simple, very simple, very, very easy. Very easy. If God were difficult to choose, then I will accept it is hard to let go of the world. Can there be anything more sweet than Him? Can there be anything that gives us more joy? Just a small example. No? Day 4. 3 days we have heard Saptaham. So far, 3 days. Now you tell me, how did you feel in these 3 days? What was the joy that you felt in these 3 days? Can you equal this joy to anything else in your life experiences? Anything other than divine, can you equate it to? Something gripped us. Some great bliss, wave of bliss gripped us. We are floating in that. We are going to float even more. Krishnavataram is coming. Once Krishnavataram comes, adukapram Ananda Lahari thaan, Paramananda Lahari thaan. Anandam. It is going to be bliss only. Is it hard? Is this bliss difficult? And for the sake of this bliss, what have you done? Have you ever sat in your life for these many hours? Letting go of everything else. Morning to evening, we are here. Everything, so easily we let go of all our habits. Otherwise, what would you have done? Normal holiday, long weekend, you would have done something. You would have woken up late. Without even brushing your teeth, you may have eaten breakfast. Pottered around the house in your night dress until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and then had a shower. But you were able to detach yourself from all of that and instead adopt this because this is so much more enchanting, entrancing. How easy. Giving up is very easy. Giving up is very easy. Here it is. Because Swami used to give the example, so I'm looking for I've already given it up. I wanted to give the example of giving up handkerchief. The handkerchief I've already given up. Swami used to give the example. He used to take the handkerchief in his hand and he would say, to hold on to this, it takes effort. See, when it falls off, easily it falls. I have to hold on to it with effort. If I'm a bit careless, it is dropped off. Holding on to this world takes effort. To let go of this world is easy. Especially when you are letting go of this world for the sake of something so sweet, so precious, so much joy, so much love. On the other hand, you are holding on to this useless eye, stinking eye. It has never brought any joy to you. Never brought any joy, only pain it has brought. You are holding on desperately to the eye instead of holding on to SAI. Instead of holding on to Bhagavan, instead of holding on to the truth, you're holding on to this world. The world, you make plans, you make your aims, and I will become this, and I will earn that, and I will buy that. What a waste. That time that is better spent in enjoying God is wasted, horribly wasted by us in all these worldly pursuits. None of which are bringing lasting joy. At least if the worldly pursuits brought us something valuable, at a great joy that we will not look for any more joy, I'm satisfied and all of that, it is worth making all that effort. Which joy in this world is permanent? Which joy in this world is going to bring us eternal contentment? You tell me. So he gives this beautiful instruction to Upadesha, to Chitraketu: remember me, think about me, love me, lose yourself in me. Chitraketu follows that, becomes the king of Vidyadharas. He attains the state of being the king of Vidyadharas. But one day, as he was traveling, he happened to cross, he was traveling in an aerial chariot. Vimanathila parandundu poyindirundan. He was going in a flight above Kailasha. In those days, Kailasha was not a no zone, no fly zone. He could fly. Later on, they made it no fly because of this incident. This fellow was flying across Kailasha when he saw a scene in Kailasha. In the scene, Shiva is sitting in Kailasha. Naturally, Kailasha is very Shiva is sitting in Kailasha. Rishis have gathered around listening to him giving a discourse. This was nice. But then, on Shiva's lap, Parvati was sitting. Was there lack of space in Kailasha? Was there not a pakatla or seat was not there? She was sitting on Shiva's lap. So she is sitting in a he had put his hand around her and holding her in an embrace, he was saying, Ellam Brahmam. Rishis are sitting and understanding how. I will explain Pandra. What is Bhagavan explaining now? Brahmam and Maya are not inseparable. Brahmam da Maya, Maya da Brahmam, the two halves da one. It depends on how you look at it. And Kamikirtakaha, Ambal Madila Kwachan, Madila, Ambal is who? Ambal Mahamaya Shakti Olyo. Ambal Devi is Mahamaya. Shiva is the Satyam, the Brahmam. Aba Maya and Brahmam are the Enaduna Uladunil Aladila Adisaya Shakti. What is Devi? She is his own power. The Brahmam's Shakti is Devi. Brahmam Shakti is Maya, by which all this creation is happening, by which all this one is appearing as many, because of this Maya Shakti. So he is holding that Maya Shakti in an embrace. Is Shiva a man? Is Devi a woman? Is the man having a PDA here? Public display of affection. PDA. Who will think of it like that? Rishis are sitting and understanding the Tattvam here. The Shiva Shakti Aikya Tattvata Purinjikara. Brahmam and Brahmam Shakti are inseparable. But this fellow, because of his, although he had attained Shankarshana's grace and all this had happened, fulfillment had yet to happen. Chitraketu. As he was going, he saw this scene and he laughed. Gee, what is this? There is no decency here. He laughed. When he laughed, the rishis who were listening to Shiva's discourse did not pay any heed to it. Shiva was giving the discourse also did not pay any heed to it. Parvati became upset. Who is he to laugh? When all of us are engrossed in Bhagavan's discourse, knowing his greatness, who is this fellow flying above without any sense of respect? First of all, you should have gotten down and paid respects to Parameshwara. She is not upset about herself. She is only upset that he is insulting her Lord, Parameshwara. Already we saw when she was Sati Devi, she burnt herself because she could not bear the insults towards the Lord Shiva. Now that she has become Parvati and married him again and coming and sitting on his lap, she didn't like this Chitraketu laughing. Oi! Although you are a Vidyadhara, you have Asuric tendencies in you. Go become an Asura. She cursed him to become an Asura. அப்போ this Chitraketu realized his mistake. அவன் சொன்னான், அம்மா ஓகே ஃபைன், மை பேட், மை பேட், I will gladly accept your punishment. And he went away. Appo Shiva looks at Parvati and says, why did you have to curse him? He is not ordinary fellow. He is a Parama Bhakta. He is a great devotee of Bhagavan. That is why, even though you cursed him, do you know something? Shiva says, he has the power to curse you back. He has the power to curse you back, but he did not do it. He instead accepted your curse and went away. That is his greatness. He made a small mistake, but his greatness is revealed in the fact that he accepted it and went. So because of this curse, he became Vritrasura and gave up that body ultimately and merged into Bhagavan. Atma Jnanam was in him already. Bodies are prarabdha. The body that you have is prarabdha. Just because you are a jnani doesn't mean the body will have to be in a certain other body is body. But independent arc. Body is independent. One day Bhagavan was in the hall, Ramana Bhagavan was in the hall, lying down, and he was moaning. I mean, he was moaning. Suppose somebody heard it. Chadwick whom we spoke about, no, heard it. He was outside, he was going outside, and from the window, Bhagavan, in the night, Bhagavan was moaning, he heard Bhagavan's moans. He came to the next morning and told Bhagavan, Bhagavan, you were moaning last night. You were moaning, what happened? Are you okay? Bhagavan said, this body has been having a high temperature for the few days. Unable to bear it, the body moaned. What do you want me to do? I have nothing to do with it, but body had a temperature, body moaned, what is it to me? Body is there. In awareness, body is also not there, but when Dehabhimana is there, body is there, and body consciousness is there, you are conscious of the body, body is there. It has to do, just because he is a jnani, will he not have to eat, will he not have to go to the toilet? Like that, everything else also is there for him. So Vritrasura became an asura, Chitraketu became an asura because that was prarabdha, but it did not matter to him. So he fought the war with Indra, used it as an opportunity, got rid of that body also and attained Videha Mukti, became one with the Supreme Truth. Idan Chitraketu oda katha. Beautiful instructions that are given. This is the 6th skanda of the Bhagavatam. 7th we have already seen in Prahlada Charitrathila. Then we move on to the Ashtama skandam, 8th skandam. Ashtama skandathila Bhagavatam in the beginning, has one particular thing which is very nice, which I like. In the first chapter of this 8th skanda is the hymn, the stuti of Manu. The Manu praises Bhagavan. How does he praise? Now, one shlokam is very interesting in this. The shlokam goes like this. Atma vashyam idam jagat yatkinche jagatyam jagat idam sarvam yatkinche jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita magrida kasya svidhanam. Ida shlokam. Yed changapi meri irukum. It looks as though it's an exact copy of what abdina. It's an Upanishad, the shortest Upanishad, very important Upanishad called Ishavashya Upanishad. Why is it called Ishavashyam? In Sacharita also we saw the story of how the little maid girl teaches Hemadpant about, Dasganu about the meaning of Ishavashya Upanishad. It is called Ishavashya Upanishad because the first mantra of this Upanishad says, Ishavashyam idam jagat, idam sarvam yatkinche jagatyam jagat, tena tektena bhunjita magrida kasya svidhanam. Bhagavatam says, Atmavashya idam sarvam yatkinche jagatyam jagat, tena tektena bhunjita magrida kasya svidhanam. Every word is the same except for one word is changed. Upanishad says Isha resides everywhere, pervading everything. Bhagavatam says Atma resides everywhere, pervading everything. Then irony அப்படின்னா Upanishad is supposed to speak about Jnanam. Bhagavatam is supposed to speak about Bhakti. Bhakti means Ishvara, God. Jnanam means Atma, self. Bhagavatam says Atma alone is everywhere, pervading everything. Ishavasya Upanishad says God alone is everywhere, pervading everything. Which one is right? Make up your mind. Which one? Is it Atma or is it Isha? Abdina. Obviously, Isha is Atma, Atma is Isha. Yeah, there's no difference between God and the self. There is one thing alone. Idan truth. What you want to call it is up to you. You want to call it Atma, you call it Atma. You want to call it Isha, you call it Ishvara. You call it Bhagavan, call it Bhagavan. You want to call it donkey, call it donkey. Donkey Vasyamidam Sarvam. Only no. There is only one thing. What is necessary is to know that one thing. What is necessary is to know that one thing alone exists. Whether you want to say Father alone exists, nothing else, no one else. Whether you want to say Attanayum Tanam Avan, he alone exists, nobody else, nothing else. Whether you want to say I alone exists, nobody else, nothing else. Doesn't matter. What is important? One alone exists. Ella one. Everything is one. All perception of differences is Maya, is illusion. How will I understand it? Again, coming back to the same two things. Either go and inquire into the nature of this ego will disappear and the self will be revealed. Or simply lose this ego in love. Apo Premadvaitam. Swami speaks about a very unique concept called Premadvaitam. Advaitam through Prema. When you love, you will realize that which you are loving in this person, in this person, in this person, in this person, in that person, that which you are loving in all of those people is the same thing. Love will reveal that oneness in everybody. Love will reveal the oneness in you and him. Easier through prema we can understand. Romba easier. If you but have that love, you will understand. For that love to exist, only one rare condition, where there is selfishness, this love cannot exist. If you want that kind of love that will give you Advaita Jnanam, then that love will have to be selfless. It cannot have selfishness in it. Selfishness, neither selfishness. You are selfishness. You existing there is selfishness. But this theory, no matter how much I tell you, you will not understand it. If you love somebody like that, you will understand it. If that love springs forth in your heart in such a way that you will erase your own self, Tannizhap will happen. Appo, you will understand this. At the very time, it will remain only theory. You must love. Listening to theory about it will not help you. You must love. Reading about love is not the same as loving somebody, no? Reading about love is not loving. Loving is loving. And Madhuri love. Prakashati Kwapi Patra. Adukutta ivula steps chodro. That kind of love will arise when Mahat Kripayaiva, you go and serve the Mahatmas, you become nothing in front of them, you put your desires behind, you shunt everything to the back and you abide by them. You do whatever they say. Even if it is discomfort to you, you do it. Even if it goes against common sense, you do it. And the sthiti varano. That sthiti has to come in us. Shirdi Baba says how his guru came and hung him upside down in the well. And he attained bliss in a children. I attained bliss when my guru hung me upside down in the well. Who in the right minds will want to be hung upside down? No, let me be the children. No, you are doing it, I will hang upside down. If you can simply erase yourself and let him do whatever he wants with you, gladly. It's done. Job is done. It will be finished. It will be finished. Karathalama, truth will become like the fruit in the palm of your hand. Yasya deve parabhaktihi yata deve tata gurau tasyaihi katitartaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Upanishad says, he who has got supreme devotion to the Lord and the same devotion to the Guru, for him all the truths will be revealed. It will shine for him. The truth will shine for him. Because in that love he loses himself. He is not there anymore in that love. Well, let us move on to the next story. The Isha Vashyataka, Atma Vashyataka. The next important story in the Bhagavatam is that of Gajendra the elephant. The story of Gajendra is known by everybody, how the elephant gets caught by a crocodile. The elephant gets into a lake on a hot day along with all of its clan, the herd of elephants. He is the master, the lord of all those elephants. He comes and gets into the water. And when he gets in there, without his knowledge, he does not know, but there lurks a huge demonic crocodile which comes and catches hold of the leg of this elephant. And no matter how much this elephant tries to free itself, it is unable to do so. It struggles with its own might and it is of no use. It struggles with the help of all of its friends and family. They all come and try to help. All the elephants interlock trunks to pull him out of the water. But still nothing is working. No matter the elephantine strength is a big strength. One elephant itself has got so much strength. If all the entire herd of elephants form an elephant chain, you have ever strength added would be added to it. Even then this crocodile seems to be so strong, the elephant is not able to free itself. Upon looking at all of this situation, the elephant does not know what to do. But luckily for this elephant, previously this elephant used to be a king. Previous birth, this elephant was a king called Indradyumna. Indradyumna no Raja, Pandya Deshata Raja. He was a Pandya king. But what he did one day was, after having ruled over as a king, he gave up his kingdom. He became old, he made his son the king, and he said, I will leave everything in Shalunera. Malaya mountain, Kulachala mountain, he became a sannyasi there. Like a rishi. He also wore matted locks on his head. Jatadaras tapasaha. But he became a tapasvi. And he was doing meditation. He was worshipping Bhagavan Srimad Narayana. Mauniya Randan, he was not talking. Without speaking, observing Maunavratam and so on, he was worshipping Bhagavan when one day Agastya Muni came there. Agastya Rishi came there. Previous Rishi. Agastya is a great Rishi. Saptarishi Ortar Agastya came there. To give some grace to this fellow. Agastya came. Aropam. This king has got so much vairagya for the sake of Bhagavan. He has left everything. He is coming and worshipping Bhagavan here. Let me go and give some blessings to him. And the Rishis come. Otherwise, why will they come? We should know why they come. The Bhaya when he was doing his meditation, Agastya Rishi came. He was sitting silently. He did not do namaskaram. He did not welcome the Rishi. He is simply sitting. Hey, is that not what Shiva also did when Daksha came? Shiva's situation is different. Shiva is not perceiving any differences. Even in this fellow thought in his mind, I am also a Rishi. You are also a Rishi. Yeah. He is having matted locks. He is wearing some orange color clothes. He is having a dandam kamandalu in his hand. He is walking. Daadi irukku avarkum. Even a Rishi, matted locks, long beard, dandam kamandalam. I am Rishi. I am also Rishi. You are also Rishi. We are both equals. Why should I do anything special to you? Senior Rishi you may be Rishis, but he is senior Rishi than you. He was Rishi for longer than you have been Rishi. You just became Rishi. He new Rishi or old Rishi. Not only that, that Rishi has the power to curse you. You have no power to do anything. Nee choplangi Rishi. Appa periya Rishi namaskaram panna vendamo. Big Rishi is coming, should you not get up and I am also the same as you. So Rishi looked at him and said, Chi, Mahatma kala madikku theriyadavane nee. You do not know how to worship Mahatmas, how are you going to worship the Lord in Naravar? You are trying to sit and worship the unseen Lord, the fellow you have never seen. Based on books, you are doing worship of him. Mahatma wo na pratyaksha daivam, he is the walking, talking God in front of you. You do not know how to humble yourself in front of a Mahatma. How will you ever reach him? Arthur. The fellow has got the right intentions. Lot of people, their heart is in the right place. Of their brain, we do not know anything. Heart is in the right place, brain it went walkabout and got lost somewhere. At least some people who misplace their phone, then they send the message, we got the phone. But in the brain, some janma they lost it somewhere, they never found it again. About the brain has to be found for intelligence, the intellect has to be awakened. This fellow, good intention, he has come there to do tapasya, all that is fine, but doesn't know the basics. Learn the basics. Go. If you continue doing meditation here, your ego will become even bigger. In fact, right now, your ego is as big as an elephant. Be an elephant. He cursed him to become an elephant. So our Indradyumna became an elephant called Gajendra and became the ruler. Our ruler then already was a king, so this time also he became elephant king. With a big herd of elephants, he was roaming around everywhere, entered into this lake, was caught by a crocodile. It is not a new crocodile. It's an old crocodile. He was already caught by the same crocodile in the last birth also. Ahankaram is the crocodile, symbolically represented here as a crocodile. When he was caught by this crocodile, he tried as usual. What do we do when we get into trouble? We use all our strength and effort to get out of it, all our intelligence. If it doesn't work, call a friend. Phone a friend. We try to call the friends and get their help from him. Whoever can help us, and all the elephants tried, none of them could help him. His own strength failed. Years together, when he was struggling like this, finally the memory from the past birth struck him and he called out to the Lord. As he was thrashing about here and there, lotuses were growing upon that lake. His trunk curled around the lotus. He held it up aloft and he said, Darshan dijo Bhagavan, Parama Kripalo Bhagavan, Adi Ananta Adbhuta Rupa, Adi Ananta Adbhuta Rupa, Anandadayaka Ashrutavatsala, Anandadayaka Ashrutavatsala, Prema Swarupa Shanti Pradata, Prema Swarupa Shanti Pradata, Sachidananda Satya Saisha, Darshan dijo Bhagavan. All of Gajendra's stuti has been summarized into this. What did he say? Adikaranaya, Adbhutakaranaya, Akaranaya, Nishkaranaya. That's Adi Ananta, Adbhuta Rupa. Correct. Adi Ananta, oh endless one, beginningless one. Oh Supreme Lord, the reason why you have got to come to rescue me is because Parama Kripalo Bhagavan. He's calling out to the Lord. Who is this Lord that he's calling out to? In Bhagavatam, this particular stuti, Gajendra's hymn of praise, is very special because it is a Nirvishesha stuti in the children. He doesn't define Bhagavan by any insignias. Oh, the one with the conch and the mace, one with Trishula in the hand, one with Jata locks in the head, one with Ganga, one with lying on the serpent, one with 4 faces. No physical descriptors are given in the stuti. He simply says that primeval being, that primordial being, that being from which everything arose, that being which itself does not have a cause but is the cause for everything, that has become this entire universe itself. The jagame advadane ayiruk. It has become this entire world itself. Appearbatta oru Prabhu, that Supreme Lord. Ya idam sarvam அப்படின்னு சொல்லு. He who has become this entire world, who is the source of this world, the origin of this world, the cause of this world, the world itself. Appearbatta, that Supreme Lord, I am saluting, I am praying to Him. Namo namaste akila karanaya nishkaranaya adbhuta karanaya. He who is the cause of all, he who is himself without any cause, he who is the most wondrous cause of all. Andavatta Bhagavanukku I am praying Madrik Prapanna Pashupasha Vimokshanaya Muktaya Bhuri Karunaya Namolayaya Swamshena Sarvatanubhrit Manasi Pratita Pratyagdrishe Bhagavate Brihate Namaste. The Supreme Brahmanaki is worshipping that Lord who is the cause of all, who is ever free but will automatically and will on his own rush to save these devotees like me who are caught up in the bonds of samsara. Madrik Pashupasha Vimokshanaya. He who comes and saves people like us. Yena Muktaya, because he is free, he has the capacity to free us. He is free, he has the capacity to free, but why should he free? Na bhuri karunaya parama kripalo Bhagavan. He is Bhagavan, he is free, we are bound. Why should he take the trouble to come and save us? Na one reason only. There is only one reason why we can lay so much claim on him and demand that he protects us. What? Na? He loves us. He has kripa for us, he has karuna for us. Based on that karuna we say, come save me. Nama Atma Pradipaya Sakshine Paramatmane Namo Giram Viduraya Manascetasamapi. Abdinalam. He praises Bhagavan in various ways. But it is filled with jnanam also. Same time it is filled with bhakti. Yasmin idam yataschedam ye nedam ya idam swayam yosmat parasmatcha parastam prapadye swayambhuvam. I surrender in him from whom this world has come, in whom this universe exists, who is the cause of this universe, of whom it is a manifestation, and who at the same time transcends all of this manifestation and remains as himself. Bhagavan created this world. How did he create this world? Using himself he created this world. Therefore he became this world. But even after having become this world, he stands separate from this world. All of this is there. Appearbatta Bhagavan I surrender. When is he separate from this world? When I think I am part of this world, he stands separate from this world. When I think I am part of this world, I cannot say he is also part of this world. He is separate. He is above. He is beyond. He can save me from this world. Otherwise, if he is also part of this world, how can he rescue me? Somebody who is standing on the banks of the river can pull me out of the river. If he is also floundering in the flood, how can he rescue me? No. Bhagavan is not floundering. Bhagavan is in the flood. Bhagavan is the flood. But Bhagavan is also outside the flood, capable of rescuing us who are in the flood. All these are put together and he praises Bhagavan. Bhagavan is pleased by this prayer. Bhagavan appears in front of him, Garuda Vahanana. Seated upon Garuda, Bhagavan appears. Bhagavan Pathonne Children Narayana Akila Guru Bhagavan Namaste Abdin Utshipya Sambhujakaram Giramaha Krichran Narayana Akila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Caught in the difficulty of samsara in the form of the crocodile, What does Gajendra do? He takes hold of a lotus, holds Sambhujagaram. With the lotus in his hand, he holds it up in his trunk, he holds it up and cries out with great difficulty. With difficulty he cries out, Narayana, Akila Guru, Bhagavan Namaste. Hey Narayana, my Guru, my Lord, my Master, I surrender to you. I surrender to you. Why? Bhagavan. Surrender pandra? Why are you surrendering to me? So that I can save you from the crocodile. No. If you save me from this crocodile, tomorrow some other crocodile will be waiting for me. I will fall prey to that. No, save me from Maya itself. Save me so that no more of crocodiles for me, no more samsara for me. I am not asking you to save me from mere crocodile. I am asking you to save me from the worst crocodile that is lurking inside the depths of myself, called my ego, my ahankara. Save me once and for all. Save me in such a way that you don't have to come back to save me again. Otherwise I'll call you again. Again and again you have to keep coming. You will settle down to eat a little bit of lunch. Pan or yeah. Then Allah Gajendra says, you save me in such a way, save me from that which I really ought to be saved from. My ajnana. Bhagavan, with the chakra, Bhagavan has got Sudarshana chakra in his hand, the discus. He let it go. Chakram went and cut the neck of the nakram. Chakram cut the neck of the nakram. Nakram na crocodile. Chakram na chakram. It went and cut the neck of the crocodile. Bhagavan lifted Gajendra with his hand pulled him out of the lake. Gajendra dropped his elephant body, arose in his divine form, and together talking happily with the Lord went to Vaikuntham. The story finishes. What were they talking happily? Bhagavan said to Gajendra, come sit with me on my Garuda. Ride lift Bhagavan. Bhagavan is giving a lift to Gajendra. Michavaliklam Vimanam bandha. All the others got a Vimana separately, they came. And now Bhagavan came in Garuda. How to take Gajendra with him? Sit next to me. Both Bhagavan and Gajendra sat on Garuda, and Garuda went. And Bhagavan is talking at that time, clasping hands with him. Bhagavan is saying, he who remembers your prayer in the morning when they wake up, when they remember you and me together, Bhagavan kadaloru santosha. Even Prahlada, Bhagavan said, he who remembers you and me together will be freed from ajnana, ahankara. He says, he who remembers you and me together will be freed from all ajnana, all ahankara. Yeah, you and me together. Bhagavan is santosham. Bhagavan likes to be remembered in the company of his devotees. Or when we remember the devotees, we will automatically remember Bhagavan. See, when you remember Bhagavan, there are many reasons why you remember Bhagavan. You are in trouble, you remember Bhagavan. Again, there is not bhakti, there is only the idea of rescue. But when you remember devotees, you are moved by their love, you are moved by their surrender. Therefore, naturally, the only thing that will be there in you is prema only for Bhagavan. Adanala, Bhagavan prefers to be remembered through the medium of his devotees rather than directly. Because there is no guarantee that when you remember him, you are remembering him only out of prema. நீ கஷ்ட நிவர்த்திக்கு கஜேந்திரனையா சேவிப்ப? கஷ்டம் வந்துடுத்து கஜேந்திரா என்னை காப்பாத்துன்னு சொல்ல மாட்டியே, நாராயணா காப்பாத்துன்னு தானே சொல்லுவேன் இல்லையா? பிரகலாதா என்னை காப்பாத்துன்னு யாராவது சொல்லுவாளான்னா? If you have difficulties, who do you pray to? You don't pray to Prahlada, you don't pray to Gajendra, you pray only to the Lord. Then when will you remember Prahlada? When will you remember Gajendra? If you are also doing bhakti at that time, when will Prahlada bhakti come to me? When will Gajendra's surrender come to me? When you remember, at the time when you are remembering Prahlada, you are remembering Narasimha only. But how are you remembering Narasimha? Swami, when will I have bhakti like Prahlada? When will I be pleasing to your eyes like like Prahlada in front of you? You will remember Prahlada. He prefers that than to be remembered independently, remember me alone. Gajendra's story finishes like this. There's a small little end part to it, which we always say because to me it is very funny. We'll finish that and go for our laughingly to our tea. Gajendra was Indradyumna, the king who was cursed to become an elephant only. What about the crocodile? Crocodile also has a history. The crocodile was a Gandharva. The crocodile சாதாரண crocodile இல்லை, அது ஒரு கந்தர்வனா. அது என்ன பண்ணித்தான், அந்த கந்தர்வன் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு ஒரு நாளைக்கு, this Gandharva was also a singer. அவன் அப்புறம் அந்த பர்வதன், தேவலா, வாழலாம், there were some singers. There was a rishi called Parvata, there was another rishi called Devala. These are all were Narada's understudies. நாரத பெரிய ஞானி மகாத்மா இல்லையா, அவர் பாட்டு பாடிண்டே போவார். பின்னாடி ரெண்டு ஜாலரா எடுத்துன்னு ஒன்று சொங்கு சொங்குன்னு ஒன்று போகும், ஒன்று கூஜாவை தூக்கிட்டு போகும். Narada's attendants, they were all rishis. The Gandharva also was something like that only. He was also an attendant of Narada. This Devala rishi and this Gandharva had come with Narada on a tour. Narada had gone somewhere to do bhajans. They've gone with him. Upon Narada was somewhere, these fellows had come early in the morning to have a bit of a dip in the river nearby. Devala and the Gandharva. Now you need to know what the name of this Gandharva is. Very important. The name of this Gandharva is Hu. So you cannot play knock jokes with this Gandharva. It is very difficult. Knock, who is there? Who? Exactly. So this Hu was, what he did was, when Hu and Devala had gone to have a dip in the river, this Hu dived deep and went and caught hold of Devala's foot from underneath and yanked him in. Our he panicked because he was swimming and suddenly somebody is pulling a who. Pata who fellow. He became very angry. He said, you gave me almost a heart attack. Luckily I am a divine rishi, otherwise I would have gone to ICU. Emergency kaadu poirukano. You fellow, you do not know who you are playing with, what you are playing with. Adanal I curse you, since you so much like to pretend to be a crocodile. Be a crocodile. So he was born as a crocodile in this lake. He caught hold of Devala's foot and he said, hey, I caught hold of your foot only. You are a Mahatma. Having caught your foot, this cannot be like an irrevocable curse. Some loophole you have to give. How is my Shapa Vimochanam? Then Devala Rishi said, when you catch hold of the feet of a great bhakta of God, at that time Lord himself will come and liberate you. Lord will come and free you from your curse. Imagine Bhagavan's plight. Devala became angry with Hu and cursed him. But Bhagavan will come and relieve you from your curse. What did he do? He is simply lying down on the serpent bed, didn't come into Devala's affairs at all. But Devala cursed Hu and Bhagavan has to come and rescue his curse. Similarly, Agastya curses Indradyumna, become an elephant. Ayyo Swami, what will happen? Don't worry, Bhagavan will come and rescue. Bhagavan Bharta, idu nadakaduppa. Each person curses and then wants me to solve the curse. I will do one thing. I will wait and join these things together so that I will come once and do at least 2 or 3 curses together over a short time. Otherwise, I have to be traveling all the time. Frequent flyer miles, Garuda Airlines, he will get a lot of miles. Platinum, gold, silver, platinum, but still, keep on traveling also a bit of a nuisance, Bhagavan. So he said, we will bring Gajendra to the lake where Hu is. Hu will catch hold of Indradyumna's leg. That time I will relieve both of their curses at one shot, and Bhagavan came to relieve their curse. But yeah, we listen to the story of Gajendra, which teaches us fun apart, jokes apart. Laughter is, I always find, is divine in its own way. It makes us happy. Otherwise, we are all going about in lives as though all doom and gloom are upon us. We hardly smile. Lips are slowly drooping down. We need, to happily laugh. Swami used to make us laugh, uproarious laughter. And the Madhuri, we used to laugh with Swami. But at the same time, you have to understand the truth also. Tattvam is surrendering to Bhagavan ultimately is how we are going to get out of the samsara. How do we surrender? As long as you are depending upon yourself, others and so on, Bhagavan will not come. Gajendra was depending upon his strength first, the strength of all the people around him, Likewise, we are also depending on our intelligence, our skills, our talents, our money, our property, our family, our friends, our own strength, so on. In fact, that is what is preventing us from surrendering to Him also. Because we have these dependencies, things to depend upon, we are depending upon it. If we had nothing, anadhya nano mana, naturally we will seek only the Lord alone. So in one way, all these things that we are accumulating around us are also obstacles only to us. When we learn to let go of all of it and depend only upon the Lord, then the Lord comes to our rescue. Also we learn that the aham needs to somehow be lost. How? Like I said the other day, even if you do not know how, as long as your intentions are still right. Indradyumna's intentions were right. He gave up his kingdom and came to worship the Lord. He still did not know the hows of it. Therefore, the who had to come and teach him the how. Who had to come and teach him a how. But he offended the rishi, he did all of those things, but still because he had the right sankalpa in his mind to worship the Lord, to seek the Lord, that still came and rescued him in the end. Another Bhagavan says, Nahi kalyanakrit tata durgatim kaschati. Durgatim gachati. Never will the one who is devoted to me ever go too wrong. Name bhaktya pranashyati. Bhagavan says, my devotees will not perish. I will save them. Even if they are fools, I will save them. Bhakti da mukhya. What is important now? Dosho yadyapi natyajayam. Bhagavan says in Ramayanam, even if you are filled with faults, I will not let go of you if you love me. You don't have to become perfect to love God. Love is perfection. Love itself is perfection. Therefore, love Him to the best of your ability. At least love Him to the best of your ability. He will do the rest. He will do the rest. Nala mudincha varaikum you love Him. Remember Him. Stop thinking about yourself. Reduce thoughts about yourself, then only then will the love towards Him will become purer and purer and purer. Hold only one thing. Your will be done. You do with me as you will. Do with me as you will. I will not make any claims. I will not make any demands. You do whatever you want. I will simply love you. For your love will reach the acme of perfection. Sarvatra Govindanam Sankirtanam.